This video is brought to you through the EA Game Changers program. Big thank you to EA for flying me out to LA for EA Play so that I could capture this early look at The Sims 4 Island Living. Hi everyone! It's the EnglishSimmer here, and welcome to my gameplay video for the brand new expansion for The Sims 4 Island Living. In this video, I'm going to be walking you through some of the new features that come with this expansion pack, and we are starting off in Creator Sim as we have 2 new traits to choose from for our Sims. The first trait is Child of the Ocean. Answer the call of the ocean. Sims with this trait will prefer water-related activities and feel closer to denizens of the sea. And then the second trait is Child of the Islands. These Sims experience a spiritual connection to the islands of Sulani. Honor the islands by partaking in their culture, summon powerful elementals, and reap the rewards of their blessings, or the consequences of their disfavor. So those are the 2 new traits that come with Island Living. Obviously, they have an awful lot to do with the environment and how you interact around it. This whole pack is focused upon the environment aspect and also the community aspect. So those 2 tie in very, very well together. I know that so many of you are going to have so much fun with this Child of the Ocean trait when it comes to mermaids, which we will be checking out a little bit later on. There is also a brand new aspiration when it comes to Island Living, and this is beach life. This sim wants to take it slow and enjoy beach life. I will definitely be exploring this in my Let's Play and also in this video as well, but this aspiration pretty much steers you into the direction of this expansion so that you can find out all the new features and explore the islands to their fullest. This expansion, from my first look, seems so large, and I try to capture as much as possible without spoiling everything for you guys further down the line, so let's just hop right on into it. Of course, whilst I was in Creator Sim, I had to check out the latest life form that was introduced with Island Living, and that is, of course, mermaids. I don't think I've seen a room full of Simmers more excited than when, at the end of the trailer, that Sim turned into a mermaid. The enthusiasm was just incredible, and I can say they definitely live up to the excitement from what I have played. I think their tails are absolutely gorgeous. The Sims team did such a good job of how the scales look and how pretty they are. They're super vibrant. There's, I think, about 4 different variations with loads of different color schemes when it comes to mermaids. And there is actually mermaid eyes as well. They look a little bit like the vampire eyes. I actually forgot to capture them, unfortunately, but I did want to let you guys know that they do have new different eye colors as well. Also, alongside this, the team have introduced a new setting when it comes to life forms in The Sims 4. So as you can see from the UI down in the bottom, you can actually link your supernatural form to your sim form. And basically what this means is that whatever you change as a human will copy over to a mermaid if you have them linked. This also works for past occults as well, so this I think works for aliens and vampires too. There is also more options. The ... are actually more custom options for this, so you can actually choose to just unlink certain body parts. I think this is awesome if you maybe want to go for quite an evil mermaid in one form, and then in the human form they're quite human and not so evil looking, then you now can, and that integration just makes it so much easier. So I'm excited to tell you that that is a thing. And also we have a trait randomizer. I totally forgot to mention that we can now randomize traits. The little dice icon next to the traits is a randomizer, so all you people who love random genetics, now you don't have to blindfold yourself when you're picking out traits. So of course, the very first thing I had to do once this family had loaded up was go outside, get in the sun, build some sandcastles, and swim in that beautiful blue ocean. Oh my goodness, it feels so good to be finally able to say that when it comes to The Sims 4. So all Sims can actually build sand sculptures. They aren't technically sand castles, they're just sculptures. My Sims actually created some gnome sculptures, they created a cowplant sculpture, so I am excited to see what other sculptures they can do. They can also knock over said sculptures if you have a little Terratot who just lashes out at everything that you do. They can actually tear down the sand sculpture and get rid of all your hard work. I know, Sims are so ungrateful. And then I also had my toddler go out and play in the ocean. Sims can wade in the ocean, they can swim, they can float on their backs, they can also dive, they can go scuba diving, and they can also do snorkeling. And I will say that the toddler playing in the ocean is the same animation as the bath animation and also the kiddie pool that we got in The Sims 4 season. So I will say that they have just taken that animation and recycled it. I mean, I'm not that fussed because I think it's a really, really cute animation. So really, I'm not too salty. I'm fairly sure the salt water in Sulani is saltier than I am about that fact. Then, of course, the trusty welcome wagon appeared. The Sims team, when they announced this, SimGuru Duke and SimGuru Lindsay did say that your neighbors are super friendly. And I actually witnessed this when I accidentally started a fire in my gameplay. They actually all ran towards my help to try and extinguish both the fire and my sim. So your neighbors will actually react to what's going on in your home, which is really cool. I feel like it just ties together that sense of community. And I can say that thankfully, the fruitcake has been discarded when it comes to island living. They don't bring a fruitcake anymore. As you guys know, if you watch my videos, I don't trust anyone who enjoys the taste of fruitcake. So I'm actually really, really glad that that's no longer a thing when you live in Sulani. Instead, they actually bring this traditional island drink, which is known as kava. Not the champagne, I don't think so anyway, although it does get you a little bit dazed if you drink enough of it. I am gonna hold my hands up and say I was a little bit confused when the aspiration told me that my sim wanted to get a suntan, and it basically warned me that I should use sunscreen, or as I call it, sun cream, if I didn't want to burn. So I thought that this would be the same as buying supplies on the computer. I thought you would actually have to go out and purchase some sun cream. However, that's not the case. You can actually just apply sun cream to your sim whilst they are either lounging on a pool float or on a sun lounger. So don't do the same as me. Don't think that you have to buy sun cream the way that you do medicine. It's not the case. Your sim can just automatically apply it as they are sunbathing. However, I did manage to find the island supplies store. This is kind of a shack on the island. This family are living on the town island of Ohanali, so I'm not too sure where these actually occur, but I managed to stumble across it. And from here, you can buy all of your beach supplies. You can even buy sailboats, you can buy aquazips. I think they're called aquazips. They're pretty much jet skis in The Sims 4. You can buy floats and also the brand new harvestables such as coconuts or taro roots. So just keep a lookout for one of those shacks and you'll be able to find like everything new that you need to explore, like coconuts and things like that, you'll find them in that supply shack. And it wouldn't be a brand new Sims 4 expansion pack without some brand new careers. So there are actually 4 new careers in this expansion, which is kind of crazy. That's not even counting odd jobs, which I will talk about as well. So the main career is actually the conservationist, not the conservatives. You've watched every nature documentary out there, and you know just how much the planet is in danger. From educating the public to performing research expeditions, you want to truly make a difference. Change won't happen overnight, but keep at it and your hard work can lead to thriving ecosystems. And the career branches in this one are environmental manager and also marine biologist. So this is actually the only fully active career. The conservationist career actually works the same way as the city living careers do. You can either choose to send your sim to work, or you can work from home and therefore do daily activities that help you to gain work performance and get that promotion. I will say that most of these activities do take part on the nature island, so you are going to be traveling to and from there an awful lot, which is fine when you have sailboats. However, there is a loading screen in between. We don't have houseboats. The Sims 4 still is an open world, so from island to island, neighborhood to neighborhood, we do still have loading screens. Not only do we have 4 brand new careers, that just wasn't enough for the Sims team, but they actually unlocked all teen base game careers, and now adults can do those careers. So that includes the babysitter, it includes the retail job, anything that your teen can do as a career, your adults can now do it as well. I think this is the perfect fit for island life. It's a little bit more relaxed, and there's also an option to now choose your shifts on specific jobs. So you can choose either an early morning shift or you can choose a late night shift. Then we have the diver career. Grab your snorkel and get to work. Being a diver is all about exploring the depths of the ocean floor. This is actually a rabbit hole career, as are the other 2. We have fisherman. Relax by the water and let the fish come to you. It's all about how you catch them. Hook, line, and sinker when you're a fisherman. And finally, we have the lifeguard career, which I really hoped would be active. Unfortunately, it is a rabbit hole in The Sims 4 Island Living. It was one of my favorite things about Island Paradise in The Sims 3, but sunscreen, whistles, and the occasional shark, yes, we do have sharks, are all part of everyday life as a lifeguard. Love swimming, safety, and yelling at rambunctious children trying to drown each other? This is the part-time career for you. And this is also one of the ones where you can actually choose which shifts you want to partake in. The Sim Gurus also did confirm to me that you will see lifeguards whilst you are at the beach. However, you cannot play as a lifeguard. You can join the career and you can go to a rabbit hole, but you can't play the day through as a lifeguard, which is so sad. That's one disappointing thing about this pack for me. I sent my sim Eli to go out and sunbathe as it was part of his new aspiration. However, his wife actually had some different ideas. So whilst he was sunbathing on his brand new sun lounger that he just whipped out, she decided to bloody prank him, didn't she? This is such a cute little feature. It kind of reminds me of The Sims 3, where you used to be able to steal Sims clothes from the side of a pool if they went skinny dipping. I personally love pranks. I have never actually done a sun cream prank to anyone, but it's now a thing in The Sims 4. So Eli ended up looking like a zebra. It kind of looked like he had the laughing stripes illness, or whatever the illness is that gives you funky red stripes on your body, but it was in fact just his tan. If you do have a sim prank another, then as long as they go back out and sunbathe, they can actually get rid of the tan lines, but I quite liked the way that they looked. Also, tan lines do work with clothing, so if you have fishnet tights on a sim and they sit out long enough, then they will actually get suntan lines or sunburn lines of the fishnets. However, sunbathing is actually opt-in, so your sims have to be lounging. They cannot just get tanned by walking around the world. I know some of you might be a little bit disappointed by that, but the Sims team didn't want to make it too powerful that your sims were constantly burning and you were constantly having to think about it. So you have to have your sims actually go out and lounge in the sun, and then they'll get some buffs. They'll get one that says sun-kissed. That's obviously when they'll develop a tan, and their tan or burns won't actually fully develop until you click out of the interaction. So once you have your sim stop lounging, that's when their skin tone will change and you will see a difference. If you have them sit out there for hours without sun cream on and you're thinking, why the heck are they not getting tanned? Make sure you keep an eye on their buffs, because they could be getting burnt and you might not just see it yet. Once evening hit for this family, I decided to have a little fun in the water because I knew that it wasn't going to be too hot out for them, even though they can't technically burn in the water. So the little dude was just chilling on his back. Sims can just float on their back and they look so relaxed whilst doing it. And then Eli actually decided to test out his aquazip, even though he technically doesn't really need it because mermaids swim so quickly in The Sims 4. I wasn't expecting him to be such a fast swimmer, but it's absolutely insane, and I adore the transition that they do from having legs on land to then changing to tails in water. This actually does happen in bathtubs as well. Your mermaid sims will actually have a thirst meter, or I think it's called hydration. So that's pretty much swapped out for hygiene. So your sims can't really get dirty, but they do need hydration. So you can either have them shower, you can have them sit in a bath, and if they sit in a bath, they'll actually hang their tail over the side, and it's really, really cute to see. Or you can obviously just go have them swim in the water. The jet skis and the sailing boats, you can fully customize them. They are pretty crazy. You can add like flames to them and everything. They can look pretty badass. Imagine just like a jet ski gang rolling out in Solani. That would be absolutely terrifying. I would get out of their way. I'm not even gonna lie. And Sims can also perform some pretty neat tricks. I think that's like a hidden skill maybe, or maybe they're just able to do tricks, but they can do tricks on the jet ski. And speaking of skills, swimming actually just relates to athletics. So if you have your Sims swim anywhere, they won't get a swimming skill, they'll just get the athletic skill. A little bit more information about mermaids, because I know you are all dying to dive into them. See what I did there? Man, the scales are not weighed in my favor. I'm gonna stop with the bad puns, I promise, but mermaids are so much fun. Like I said, they're super colorful. You can tell a bunch of different stories with them, and they actually do have mermaid powers. These are actually an interaction. If you click on your mermaid sim and then hit mermaid, they can do these on land and also in the water. You can do it by clicking on your own sim and then hitting mermaid, or sometimes you can click on another sim and hit mermaid to see what else you can do. And these magic powers range from singing a love song to charm someone into feeling flirty so that they will fall for you. Honestly, pretty much very like the traditional sirens, and how they used to lure sailors to them using their pitch perfect voice. So you can do things like that. And I also wanted to spice up my family's relationship a little bit, you know? They were both working hard on the island, they were focusing on their careers, so I wanted to give them a little bit of thrill back into their love life. So I actually had Eli, I had him summon the ocean threat, which honestly is as scary as it sounds. So pretty much what this was a complete gamble. Vixella actually talked me into doing it, and I was so worried. And basically his wife got pulled under by this entity. It actually had a little icon of a kraken type situation, but you obviously didn't see it. It was just a deep sea creature that no one really knows about, even though it very much happened in the shallow reef, and you would have definitely been able to see a creature if it had been lurking under there. I'm not too sure about this, but I think Sims can actually drown that way, but that is not confirmed. That might be me jumping to conclusions, so I'm not 100% about that. But there is also another way for your Sims to drown. So if you send them out into the deep waters, and these deep waters only really are around the nice residential area, so the one that is quite posh and has the nice big houses, and also the natural island. The town island is a little bit too shallow for this, but if you send your Sim swimming out in the depths of the ocean, there's a specific part that Sim Guru Morgan actually pointed out to me, because we all know that she's obsessed with death, just like myself. So I had my Sim swim around this channel, and she did actually get a buff that she had seen an ocean friend. And no, this wasn't the very friendly dolphins. This was actually a shark. So if your Sims see a shark, if they have the child of the ocean trait, then they're actually not that fussed. They're just like, oh, it's a shark. It's my friend. I'm friends with the sea life of the world. However, if it's a normal Sim without that trait, they actually get the tense moodlet. I think it works the same way as it would as a bear in Granite Falls. And they get the tense moodlet. If you have your Sim continue to swim, they can also be pulled under by the shark. I think they can eventually drown that way and die. Unfortunately, my Sim just made friends with a shark, you know, casually, as you do. But sharks aren't the only other sea life that we have in The Sims 4 Island living. I was so close to calling it Island Paradise. We do have dolphins. Your mermaids can actually summon dolphins, and I think regular Sims can as well, once they have actually started to build up a relationship with them. So all you have to do is click on a buoy. I know you Americans call them buoys. Buoys. I think you guys call them buoys. I personally call them buoys. So you can click on a buoy and you can call a dolphin to you. If you see dolphins kind of swarming around them, you can go try and interact with the dolphins. However, I will warn you, the dolphins are pretty judgmental, man. They take a while to decide whether they want to warm up to you or not. I was dying with laughter when it said that it was deciding if it liked me or not, because I was just like, hard same. I go through that every single day of my life. So I really understood the dilemma that the dolphin was having. Fortunately, he did approve of Eli, and they actually became soulmates, which is very, very sweet. And I decided to name him Bob. Once you've become friends with the dolphin, you can actually ask them to do tricks for you, you can ask them to squirt you, all of those cute little dolphin things. And actually, my Sim was imitating a dolphin quite a lot. No one else had really seen it, and my Sim was just going, "Ee!" And I was like, what is happening? I'm sorry, that wasn't my best dolphin impression. Let me do it right. I can't do it. My voice is too gone. But my Sim was imitating a dolphin quite a lot, which was really, really strange. So if your Sim is making some really weird noises, they're probably doing that. And then there's just this really cute crab. You can't interact with him. He's just a decorative object that pops up out of the sand. He did it whilst my sim was building a sand sculpture, but I love him and he is my child. I had to explore the brand new career because these active careers are some of my very favorites in The Sims 4, and I don't think Conservationist is gonna be any different to that. So I had Karina actually join this career. I think that's that Sim's name. I don't know. I made her very much on a whim. So she started out as a wildlife enthusiast. I had to play a couple of days off screen to actually get to a point where I could play a day with her. So basically I had her work from home, and then it came up with some daily tasks that we had to do. So we had to research conservation, and we also had to survey wildlife at Mua Pelham. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry. I know I'm such a white person when it comes to these pronunciations, but that's actually the natural island at the top of the world. I will warn you guys that this job is extremely difficult if you do choose one of the new lot traits, which is off the grid. Basically, you can't use internet on off the grid, and therefore you can't actually research anything unless you maybe add a library to your world, or if you travel to another world. Although I am probably going to stay in Sulani for the majority of my Let's Play, because it does feel quite closed off from the rest of the Sims 4 worlds. So I will give you a warning about that. And then pretty much she had to go to the nature reserve island, and there are certain things that you can interact with. There's actually algae ponds in the ocean, which you can survey and inspect. There's a beach cave, which you can have a look at and see if you can find any wildlife in there. And I think there are a couple of other things that you can also do as well. So that's pretty much what surveying the wildlife is. I did actually have her take off her clothes because one of the lots that we went to, I think it was a nudist colony. There is a lot trait which pretty much says no clothing optional. It's unfortunately not available for residential. I was talking to Sim Guru Morgan about this, and she said that the Sims team debated about whether it should be residential or only locked to public lots, and they decided to go for locked to public lots because if you have kids at home, they didn't know how they were going to get around that and all of that, like, legality issues, I guess. So unfortunately you can't have your very own nudist colony, which I was really upset about. But I just had her whip off her clothes because, hey, she's a conservationist, she cares about the environment and fast fashion and all of that. So I thought, why not do your job naked? I also had her inspect the waterfall, which was pretty interesting. There's a couple of things that you can do at this waterfall. Obviously, the main one that you guys are all gonna want to know about, it is a brand new woohoo spot. So you can woohoo in the waterfall. It's a pretty cute woohoo, I'm not gonna lie, I quite enjoyed seeing it. It's not one of the steamiest, but it is very sweet. You can also shower in the waterfall. Say if your Sims are living on this island and they are off the grid, you could just have them walk around to the waterfall and shower there. I kind of wish you could bathe in the ocean. I think that would have been a really cool addition, but I think they kind of decided to go for showering in the waterfall instead of bathing in the ocean. And you can also find frogs here. You can lure frogs in and find them, and you can just play around in the waterfall, which pretty much just has some interactions of the Sims splashing one another. Speaking of water romance activities, there is a brand new kiss, which is called Kiss in Water. This is even steamier than the brand new woohoo spot. Like, it is sensual, and I can see why the Sims would have to be in the ocean for that kiss, because it's pretty darn sexy. Odd jobs are also one of my favorite things to ever be added to The Sims 4. I'm fairly sure they are an exclusive to Island Living because they tie in really, really well with just being able to earn a few bucks here or there, especially if your sim is already in a part-time career. All your sim has to do is pick up their phone and then look for odd jobs. Again, this doesn't really work too well if you have the off-the-grid lot trait because you don't have internet or cell phone reception, I'm fairly sure. So it doesn't really tie in very well to that. The thing that I can relate odd jobs to the most is probably the freelancer career. Basically, as you do more odd jobs, depending on how quickly you deliver on them and how well you do, you start to gain up a rating. I know, the whole world is going crazy. One day, we're all going to wake up and it's going to be like Black Mirror and we're all going to have ratings on ourselves. And I am terrified for that day. But that's how odd jobs work. If the odd job actually has an ASAP next to it, ASAP, that means that it is actually a rabbit hole and your sim will just go off the lot straight away and they will come home and it will say job completed and there you have it. That's that specific odd job done. However, if it has due by a date and a time, then that means it's actually active and you can travel with your sim to the location and actually complete that odd job with them. So you will have to direct them through the specific odd job that you have chosen. That's just a little bit of help if you guys were wondering what the ASAP meant, and I didn't want you to be super disappointed that they were all just rabbit holes, because they're not. Although unfortunately I only got to play one rabbit hole one because I didn't realize that the ASAP meant that my sim would disappear. Once Karina disappeared off my lot, she was gone for a couple of hours and then I actually got this notification that said, well, look there, it's Karina Muscles Batista. Gravity didn't stand a chance with the way she lifted the furniture and placed it in storage like they were hamsters or something small. Oh my goodness, was that a My First Pet Stuff reference? Let's not go back to those dark days. We aren't gonna have island living tainted by My First Pet Stuff. Anyways, the client was super pleased by how quickly and carefully Karina got the work done. She'll be dishing out a nice bonus payment, so she got 96 simoleons and she was also tipped 9 simoleons. Obviously, these aren't the best for payment, but if you need a quick buck or simoleons, then they're really easy to do. Obviously, before you select an odd job, you should check out the skill level and the requirement for it. You don't want to turn up to a job and disappoint because then you're not going to get paid anything and you won't be making friends on the island. So definitely listen to the skill level and see if your sim is at the recommended one. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys. That was all the content that I captured whilst I was at EA Play. Once again, big thank you to EA for paying to fly me out to LA with other simmers to test out this game pack. I absolutely loved it. I seriously cannot wait to get my hands on the official release just so that I can play it more and more. Let me know how you guys feel about this gameplay. Are you liking the look of it? What are you most looking forward to? I feel like so many of you are gonna say mermaids, which honestly, I completely understand, but I think I'm most excited that we finally have sunburns and suntans in The Sims 4 because I've been wanting that from seasons. So now we finally have it and it's confirmed and I've seen it and it's great. But definitely let me know what you guys are wanting to explore more. Let me know what you also don't like about the pack. If there's anything that you're not really too fond of or you think it should have been done a different way, then please do not hesitate to let me know. As I said, I'm not really a fan of the fact that we got 4 jobs but only one of them is active. I really wish the Lifeguard Career had been active. That would have been great. Please do give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you are wanting more island living content, I will definitely be doing a Let's Play once it's officially released and I have my hands on it. Don't you guys worry. I will be doing a Let's Play. I am unfortunately on holiday as you are watching this, so my Let's Play might be a couple of days late, which is super unfortunate, but I already have a story in mind and some characters, and I think you guys are gonna love them. So please do hit that subscribe button and that bell to turn on notifications for whenever I upload my series of island living. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will speak to you all in my next video. Bye guys!